Thanks for tuning in. So, sorry about the dirty cars in the background. I detailed a couple of them, and I did it full interiors, so they're just drying off. But anyways, today we're going to talk about a supercharged hemi all-wheel drive Chrysler 300. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? No, you don't know yet, but you about to find out. If you want to find out, hit that like and subscribe button. Tune in for more cool stuff. But today's episode, we're going to talk about, so maybe, I don't know, 3 years ago-ish, more or less, I purchased a bone stock 2011 Chrysler 300 with a 5.7 Hemi, all-wheel drive. As stock as they come. I think it had like 50,000 miles on it, something like that. At the time, I paid like 17 or 18 grand for it, whatever. I like those cars though, man. Those 300s from like 2011 and up, I really enjoy all the features that they come with. Considering their generation before that was pretty outdated. Moving from what they used to be to 2011 and up models, which had kind of like the DR LED headlight design, had the projector housings, had the adaptive cruise control, had the blind spot monitor, had a lot of cool stuff. For 2011, car that was reasonably priced, I mean, that's not bad, man. That's a lot of cool stuff. A lot of technology package all in one, considering that even nowadays, I mean, some of the cars nowadays, like 2020s and things, are starting to come out more standard with things like that. But even to this day, like a pickup truck, right? The only pickup truck that I know of that comes with like adaptive cruise and things like that is like the Tundra, and that's because it's like a safety feature that they offer. But like F-150s or Chevys, GMCs, you have to get the top of the line, or Dodge, top of the line to even get anything near that stuff. So it's kind of cool that, you know, for that car and have stuff. Anyways, so I picked up the car, and some of you guys know the all-wheel drive model cars, all-wheel drive cars of those models, they come with a lot of wheel gap, all right? Like, we're talking massive. So to me, it's like, man, wheel gap is bad, all right? Unless it's a pickup truck. But so those came with 19-inch wheel stock. So first thing I did was swap the wheels from. I'm gonna post some little videos that I do have still on my phone from the car. We're gonna do I got a couple of pulls, like little racing videos that I did with a couple buddies. I think one of them was with, I know for sure I got one me whooping, I don't know if I whooped it, we were pretty close. It was he might have got me actually. It was an HHR Turbo SS model, ZZP tuned and some other stuff. I don't remember if he was on E30 at the time. He had to have been. Because mine, well, we'll talk more about that. We'll not done to mine. But, so it was snow white in color. First thing I did was got rid of those 19-inch wheels. I did 22-inch, nice black and like machined wheels. So I did the wheels on there, and I'm like, man, what the heck? You know, the 22-inch wheels look cool, but they don't look good on this car right now because of all that wheel gap. So I actually went with a BC. Oops, low battery mode. I actually went to BC coilovers. At the time when I was on Facebook pages and forums, it seemed like those were the best of the best for that car. So BC coilovers lowered it to the perfect stance. Okay, it was mint. After that, I did an SLP exhaust. They have two levels. I don't remember if I went with the louder one or the quieter one. But anyways, SLP, man, if you got that kind of car, like Chargers or Dodge Chargers or Chrysler 300s, SLP is the way to go. I want to say it was just an axle back exhaust. That was like $700, but it was mint. That thing was loud, very impressive, very cool, very good tone. So no drone going down the freeway. So I got a buddy that, I want to say I went with the milder one. I got a buddy that actually had the generation before that, Chrysler 300 whipple supercharged, and he went with the stage 2 or level 2 SLP exhaust, and he thought it was a little bit much, I think, on the freeway. But anyways, so I did the exhaust, sounded great, and I did actually have a system in that. I kept the factory head unit radio because they're already big, and even back then CarPlay wasn't that big yet, so I kept that. So I did do two 12-inch Alpine Type R's in the trunk with a ported box. I don't remember the amp I had on them, but it was whatever. It was sufficient. It wasn't anything crazy, nothing classy. It was just a couple 12s, give me some bump in the trunk, all right? What else? So from that point on, I went on and I blacked out all the windows, you know, the tint all the way around. And actually, I had a buddy at the time in Rhinelander, where I lived at the time. He worked at a body shop, and he painted. I have to look. I think it was the grill, the handles, maybe. I gotta look at the video again. Well, you'll see here in a second what they look like. But there's a black accents all over the car that I had sent in to get painted, and then I think it's, man, I don't remember the DTS or ABS, or I don't remember exactly. I'm sorry for not looking into this before I made the video, but they make headlight covers, so like smoked or black headlight covers and taillight covers. And I could have you know, tinted them with like VHS nightshade or just regular old tint. But I kind of like the fact that, you know, in case I got pulled over or something, I could just rip them off, you know, get a warning, whatever, cop will drive away, I throw them back on. So I had the headlight and taillight covers for that car, which was pretty sweet. So then at this point, this car is, you know, white on black, black on white, whatever. It's sick, all right. I mean, everyone's giving me thumbs up, everything like that. And you know, it was good. I mean, it was a healthy motor. It had some juice to it. But you know, being all-wheel drive, hard to spin. You can't really spin the tires. That still had the 5-speed transmission from Chrysler. So I started looking into engine power options, you know, cold air intake, headers, things like that. And I was like, well, and I talked to a few other guys, and all those little minor mods really don't help those Hemis a lot. They don't really, you're not really getting your money's worth, you know what I mean? So you could do like an intake, headers, throttle body, and you might gain like 15 horse, you know, it's really not much. And you have to get it tuned, so even with the tune, you might gain another 10 horse, 15 horse. You get better shifting, but it wasn't worth it to me at the time. You know, you spend, you know, $1,000 to $2,000 out, you know, at the end of it, and you might gain just a little bit with better shifting. So I looked at whipple superchargers. That's right, I did a 2.9 liter whipple supercharger on that ride, and that was a monster. I talked to you guys. Actually, my neighbor was a mechanic at the time, so it was really cool. He did a lot of bills for me. As actually a horsepower ranch over in Monaco, Wisconsin. He's the one that hooked me up with a lot of builds. He did a lot of custom stuff for me. So he installed it. He didn't do tuning. He actually did have a dyno though, but he didn't do any tuning. So he installed it for me. I had the Whipple tune at the time for a little bit. Then I called up my friends at over at Late Model Throttle in Waukesha, like I mentioned in my last video, that they've done a few vehicles for me. Well, this is one of them. So I took it to them. They tuned it. So at this point, I got the supercharger. I got the exhaust for power mods. And I think it went in with like 430 or something, 420 wheels, horsepower at the wheels, torque, horsepower, pretty close. But anyways, they were about 420-ish at the wheels. And then I came out with about 500 at the wheels, so like an 80 to 70 horse gain. And of course, better shifting. That's really what you're there for, is, you know, the shifting. So it knows when to shift, how to shift, and things like that, and for your driving, your style driving. So I was really happy when I came out of there, man. That thing just launched like crazy. We're talking, I bet you I could smoke a Hellcat almost all the way up to a quarter mile. He'd probably creep up at me at the end of the quarter mile. But that was an insane car. Actually, I'm embarrassed to say I only had that for like 8 months maybe, or less, man. I didn't have that for very long. It's not because I didn't like the car, it's just because I'm crazy like that, you know. I switch cars left and right. Well, I did. I'm trying to slow that down, but me at the time, man, I go through cars like crazy. I build one, I'd get bored with it, and I go to the next one. People always ask me, why you try? Why can't hold on to one, man? Stick with that one. I like that one. I liked it too. Shit, whenever I let it go, it was a sad day, but I let it go because I wanted to start a new one. You know, it kept me busy. At the time, I actually worked at a restaurant. I owned and operated a restaurant, and I had just moved to that town a few years back, so I wasn't from there. And for me, it was like an escape, you know, to sit there and like build a truck or a car and do things to it and spend time with it. It sounds weird, but you know, and if anything, that's how I met a few friends up there, you know, by talking about motors, talking about cars, trucks, racing on the back roads, you know, out after work, whatever, with them. weekends. So I mean, you know, I don't know, man. It is what it is. You know, some of us are crazy. They spend our money on drugs, alcohol, other stuff. I spent my money at the time on that. You know, I mean, it was just that was my drug was modifying vehicles and getting different vehicles and starting from scratch. So that was a cool ride. So there is a video of like me coming out of the garage. I think I got a video of me in the dyno. I got a video of me coming out of the garage or the house, doing like a little short pull, just heavy acceleration out of my driveway. You can hear the exhaust. And then I do have a video of me, like, I think I'm the one on tape, so you see my car. But I think that was the HHR, and I think we were neck and neck. And there might be another video in there somewhere, but we'll see what you get. I'm gonna let you guys watch his videos, and then I'll check back with you at the end, all right? That's all I got. I was about 4 or 5 little pieces of videos that I had of my phone from that car. I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you guys have any questions at all, I'm here. Ask away. I'm no guru by any means, but I know a little bit about. I know a little bit about everything, or a little bit about a lot of stuff. That's what they say, right? So I know a little bit about a lot of stuff, and I may not always be right about that little bit, but whatever. It's just my 2 cents. So. Yeah, hit me up in the comments, hit that like, subscribe button, ask away. I'm going to keep posting videos like this about my past rides, future rides, just stuff that I want to do, stuff that I like. And then eventually, you know, today was a couple of interior details. They weren't that bad, so I didn't really take the time to stop and make a video about them. But I will, I promise. I'll make some videos about detailing too. So for now, that's all I got. I'll see you guys next time. All right, hit the like, subscribe.